Hey, what's up, Silver Stackers? Thank you for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so let's talk about silver. I just read a little article where this guy says that there's no silver shortage. That this is all BS nonsense. It's all a myth, and that these guys don't know what they're talking about. He says that these people are portraying it as some apocalyptic thing and they don't understand the COMEX and they're all just new stackers from Wall Street silver, and that's why they were wrong about pushing the price up and the silver squeeze and yada 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 yada. It's funny though, because in this guy's huge announcement, he doesn't show any data proving why there's no silver shortage. He didn't even talk about any logical reasoning why. He didn't give one single reason why this isn't true. He just said it's not true. Where on my channel, I like to show context. I don't go off opinion, I go off the numbers. I go off the numbers, the data, the context. If I see that the demand exceeded 1.112 billion ounces this year, if I see that supply or production has been drastically depreciating over the last 7 years, if I see that EV sector and the industrial sector alone with solar panels and 5G towers and all that stuff is going to be expanding astronomically over the next 5 to 10 years, if I see that most silver has a very short half-life because it's thrown away inside these technological appliances not to be recycled, not to be recovered, if I see that silver is a byproduct, meaning it's found by accident when there's very, very few primary silver mines, and actually the most recent silver mine to start production shut down because everyone protested, since I guess mining silver contaminates the groundwater. I think it was in Canada, and they didn't want this, so they protested and the mine shut down. It's actually pretty ironic because silver purifies water, so the irony there is just beautiful. They're protesting to shut down a mine because of contamination of their water, when silver, which the mine is mining, purifies water. Now, obviously, it would still contaminate the groundwater there with other, with the construction itself and all that. But, it's a very ironic situation, to say the least. But I could keep going on. I make daily videos, uncovering new things, but the moral of the story is, if I see all of these different points of interest that all lead towards one thing, then I have to assume that that one thing is accurate. I mean, the Silver Institute's numbers, I call them the holy grail of information because their numbers are the numbers. Nobody is above them. When the Silver Institute posts that data, that's what every other source goes off of. Not to say that it's accurate to a T, but regardless, we know that over the coming years, it's going to be harder and harder to keep up with this. We barely can today, and we just started the Green New Deal. Imagine in 10 years, zero net emissions by the year 2040. By the year 2030, every automobile company is going to be electric. Do you know how many EV, do you know how much silver that's going to require? Where there's 58 grams of silver per EV right now. I will give it, they're trying to cut it down to 28, but regardless, there's 58 grams right now. Solar panels have a very short half-life with windmills. So the silver that's in photovoltaics, which are the PV cells used in solar panels, those are going to be rapidly getting replaced. And if recycling doesn't ramp up, that's just thrown away. There's so many situations here that point towards one thing. And these people that just speculate that there's no silver shortage whatsoever don't look at that stuff. They don't put up any type of argument to combat what I'm saying or what we say. David Morgan said it perfectly. And speaking of David Morgan, I just locked in an interview with him, which is pretty crazy because he's my idol, the silver guru himself from the Morgan Report. Man, just wanted to throw that in there because I know I said it would be awesome in my last video. I said, man, it would be awesome to do that, and next day I did that. Man, things are crazy, and that's not even my big announcement that I'm announcing on Saturday. You would think that would be the big announcement, but that's not even the biggest announcement that I have on Saturday. Be there or be square. Regardless, though, man, things are crazy. Regardless, though, he said a line, and I'm going to ask him about this. You definitely know I'm going to ask him about this, and I'll quote it. I don't want to find it right now, but it was his letter to Elon Musk. And he didn't say this to Elon, but in that article, he goes into some context and says, if you really think we have enough silver for the world to go green, you're a dreamer. Something along those lines. But he said the word dreamer. Like you're living in a fantasy land. You know, the possibility of that happening is impossible. There is no possibility because we literally do not have enough silver over the next coming years. And it's not and a lot of these people that push the narrative of people like me that talk about the silver shortage are so overhyping it that it sounds like I'm crazy. They'll say, yeah, these guys are making it sound like there's not going to be a single ounce in any of the vaults. You won't be able to go on APMEX and buy a single ounce of silver tomorrow. They're pushing the apocalyptic. That's not the case. If you watch my channel, I talk about this stuff over the next 5 to 10 years, and low supply, high demand pushes the price up. Over the years, it's going to be harder and harder. The COMEX vaults are already empty, though. If you want to look at some of the data, I just made a video a couple days ago. COMEX vaults are emptied. What do you think is going to happen when the contracts that could be turned into physical delivery aren't deliverable? I mean, it's too blatantly obvious to ignore. And if you are going to ignore all of this stuff, all this information, then that just means you're completely biased. It has nothing to do with the actual conversation itself. That just means your ego's coming through and you don't want to be proven wrong because you already said something and you want to stand by it, and you're too egotistical to admit maybe, you know, that's really what it is. Because if all this data wasn't here, I wouldn't be saying all of this. It's not me speaking, it's me covering the articles that are saying it. You know, it's not like I'm just sitting here on a blank screen saying no, I'm covering articles that are talking about this stuff. I'm covering other people that are saying there's a shortage. It's not me. I'm basing my opinion off of facts, where the other side is basing their opinion off of speculation, and they ignore the facts. So anyways, let's go into this article. Sorry I went on that little rant, but you know, I really want my audience to understand what is real and what is speculation. Global silver demand forecast to reach a record 1.112 billion ounces in 2022. Imagine how many billions of ounces it's going to be by the year 2025. 2 billion ounces, 3 billion. What about 2030? The outlook for silver demand is exceptionally promising for 2022, with global silver demand forecast to rise to a record high of 1.112 billion ounces. And I bet next year is going to be another record high, and each year. The increase will be driven by record silver industrial fabrication, which is forecast to improve by 5%. And it's not just industrial. We're talking about jewelry. We're talking about investment sector. We're talking about everything, even silverware. Everything is needing more silver, every single avenue. So that's 5% industrial fabrication. Silver's uses expands in both traditional and critical green technologies. Physical silver investment demand, consisting of coin and bars, projected to jump 13% in 2022, achieving a 7-year high. Silver's use in jewelry and silverware is also expected to strengthen in 2022 by 11% and 22% or 21% respectively. Macroeconomic and geopolitical conditions will generally support precious metals prices in the first half of this year. However, once the pace of U.S. policy rate hikes become more evident, the price outlook becomes more challenging. The Silver Institute is pleased to provide the following insights on the major components of the 2022 silver market. Silver demand. In 2022, the silver market will build on the strong foundation set last year when silver demand gained in all key sectors. Continuing the trend from 2021, this year's upside will be broad-based with gains expected from most key demand components. The global total for 2022 is forecast to achieve a new record high, increasing 8% to 1.112 billion ounces, where production is around 800 million. I think they're going to try to break through 900 million by the year 2024 or something. Don't take me on those numbers exact. I know it's around there though. That they are trying to they're expecting to ramp up production at least to some extent. But when silver's price is down, miners have no motivation, no reason. Well, in their eyes, no reason to dig it up out of the ground. Because if you think about it, why would they try to dig up silver when gold is 90 times more valuable? Makes no sense. But it does make sense in the fact that we need silver a lot more than gold, since gold dug up out of the ground, that 1 ounce stays in circulation for a century because that bar or that necklace or that watch or earring gets melted down into more bars or necklaces or watches or earrings. And the cycle repeats, especially since gold is so valuable. People are more prone to, pawn their grandma's jewelry or even take gold out of laptops or cell phones like I used to do. Or regardless, no one's going to go pawn a silver necklace and get $2.50 for it. There's way less motivation to even try to scrap or recycle silver since it's so much cheaper. The outlook for silver's use in photovoltaic PV cells, which is solar panels, that remains bright. Government commitments to carbon neutrality have resulted in a rapid expansion of green energy projects. As a result, even with ongoing efforts to reduce silver loadings, record PV installations are expected to lift silver demand in this segment to an all-time high in 2022. And I'm sure we'll see another all-time high in 2023 and so on and so forth. And even beyond 2030. I usually stop at 2030, but what about forwards? Do you really think that by the year 2040, when we're trying to hit the zero net emissions, imagine how much silver we'll need by then? But people say that we have plenty of silver, when I've literally made videos on the below ground supply versus the above ground supply versus annual demand, global demand. I've made videos talking about that and showing those numbers. So despite the prolonged worldwide chip shortage, the outlook for silver demand in automotive and 5G related applications remains robust this year. The former has been underpinned by increasing vehicle electrification, which leads to higher silver loadings per vehicle. Meanwhile, the latter has been assisted by the acceleration of building infrastructures to support 5G networks and strong demand for mobile devices. Moreover, as chip manufacturing bottlenecks are forecast to ease gradually in 2022, the rise in silver demand for these and other electronic applications is expected to expand. And scientists find new uses for silver every single day. New uses for silver. The only thing that could cut back demand even the slightest would be using less silver in these applications. Like I said, EV has 50 something grams of silver in it. Cutting it down, cutting half, making it 20 something, 24, 25 grams. That will help a little bit. Using less silver in solar panels, silver is not going to be replaced, and that's a fact. Maybe either mining innovation out of the Earth's crust, but there's only so much silver in the Earth's crust. Recycling or space mining. And yes, space mining is a real thing, There's an asteroid headed towards Earth called 16 Psyche. It arrives by Earth around, or Earth's orbit around 2026. NASA sent out a rover this year to go check out this asteroid. Supposedly it has $15 quintillion worth of precious metals on it. It's covered in precious metals. Will we be able to mine an asteroid by the year 2026? Highly unlikely, but they're at least starting to go that avenue, which is crazy. Jewelry demand is also boosting 11%. Silver supply and market deficit. Supply projected to rise 7%, 1 billion ounces in 2022. Main contributor is silver mine production, which is forecast to grow 7% to a 6-year high this year. That's actually not bad. This was driven by higher output from primary silver mines, which there's only a few. Most silver mines, or most mines, aren't digging silver. They're looking for gold, lead, and zinc. If they find silver, they'll take it, but they're not looking for it. And that's particularly from several large existing operations and supported by large new projects coming online. The increase in silver recycling should be more modest in 2022, with volumes likely to advance by 3%, with rise entirely due to higher industrial recycling. So then we could look at ETPs. Silver investment, or physical investment, should enjoy double-digit gains in 2022, hit a 7-year high. And yes, I mean, the U.S. Mint sold 5 million ounces the first month of January. Now the U.S. Mint is selling nothing, but 5 million ounces the first month, that's impressive. Now Perth Mint and the Royal Mint are seeing crazy sales, and the U.S. Mint's not at all, but looks like everyone is buying silver at extremely alarming rates, right? I mean, when you look at these numbers, it's very impressive. It's looking like people really are just buying and holding and realizing the silver's true value. Physical silver investment in India is also expected to strengthen on the back of improving economic conditions and positive price expectations. So yeah, the Silver Institute is the silver industry's primary voice in expanding public awareness of silver's essential role in today's world. Its mandates are to provide the global market with reliable statistics and information on silver and create and execute programs that will help drive silver demand. I mean, the Silver Institute is the holy grail of information. When the Silver Institute's numbers go live, that's what every other source and article uses. There's no one above the Silver Institute. Like that is what the numbers are. You know, that's the top dog. So yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to know what you think. If you liked the video, then please give it a like. If you think my channel's worthy of a subscription, then please subscribe. I got big things coming with this channel, life-changing opportunities, and I can't thank you all enough. It's because of you all. If you're still watching this video this far in, pat yourself on the back. You didn't click off the video within 20 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever, thinking that you know it all, closed-minded, thinking that you don't need to know anything else, because a lot of this stuff was very important information. And regardless, you know, you just stuck through it. Having an open mind, always willing to learn more, and you know, and just stay humble and just seeking out information without that egotistical bias is very important, and that will translate into your success. So yeah, anyways, the link to this article will be in the description. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.